go.
Hey, hi YouTube, I just topped the remote regional with pure Tearalaments. So let's get into the deck. So for the monsters, I played 3 Merly, 3 Hobnus, 3 Sharon. So these are the 3 tier names I played. You have to max out on these. You have to play the maximum number, which is allowed, because these are the ones which let you fusion summon, and you always want to mill these, so that's why we played the maximum number. And then for the other monsters, I played 3 Rhinoheart. He can send a tier anytime he's normal or special summon, so this is the a guaranteed 1-card starter in the deck, and he's also necessary to make Kaleidoheart. And then for the last monster, I played 1 copy of Supreme Seamare. I decided to play this instead of Rhoda because this and Rhoda would do usually do the same thing, but this is better to mill than Rhoda because it's an Aqua monster. And if you draw this with the Rhinoheart, it's also better because you can use his effect first and then summon the Rhinoheart off of Kit Kalos and extend from there. So overall, I thought this card performed very well. I wouldn't play more of it because I would just clog on normal summons, but I really liked the one that I did play. So that's it for the monsters. And then for the defensive cards, I played the hand traps. I played 3 DD Crow, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Nibiru, 3 Imperm. I thought these hand traps were the best for the format. Nibiru is really good against the mirror match since you could just wait until the very end to Nibiru them. And all of these hand traps help you stop Kit Kalos. I didn't play Ash because Ash is just very subpar against Sprite and Tier. And DD Crow is really good against both of the top 2 decks because you can just Crow Tier names, or you can also use Crow on Ronotodin or Totally Awesome. And then another non-engine card I played for going second was 3 Super Poly. I decided to play this instead of another playset of hand traps because this is the best standalone card to have in the entire deck. It's really good against Sprite, and even against Tier, it's not the worst card. And if this card, like if anything, it can also help get your engine started if you get interrupted by just setting it and using a small Tier monster as a fusion material. So yeah, overall, I thought this performed very well. It has a wide application of uses. You can even just use it to try an OTK. So yeah, so that's it for the going second cards I played. I decided to not play the any dangers because I thought these cards were the best cards in the deck. So I decided to just play these cards. And I opted for more defensive cards to help in the mirror match. And for the spell cards, I played 3 per Rhino. Best card in the deck. I honestly don't know why it has all of those effects. Yeah, it's a searcher, pops a card, and it makes your guys really big. In the mirror match, whoever has this just has an insane advantage. Then I played 1 Terraforming to search the per Rhino. And then for the other spell cards, I played 1 Instant Fusion. Best card in the main deck. You get Kalos is level 5, so there's not much explaining to do. Even if your Kit Kalos, which you summon off this, gets negated, you could still just let it die during the end phase and mill 5 from it. It's just stupid. And then I played 2 Desires. It's pretty good in this deck because you usually just banish hand traps and whatnot. It can be a little tough when you banish like more than 3 names, but usually the draw 2 is worth it here. And then for the last spell card, I played When Called By. This was more of a last minute decision because I was afraid of Winter Cherries and Shifter, and this was an answer to both of those cards. I didn't actually draw this the entire tournament, so I can't tell you how this was. Then I played, for the trap cards, 2 Solic. This is the best tier trap card because it has both a very strong on-field effect and a really good grave effect. If this just stays alive, you could just like keep sending your tier monsters every turn. Fun fact, you don't actually have to send a tier monster for its effect. You could send any monster. I've used this to dodge a Solic from my opponent on my Dweller by sending it, and that was a huge interaction. And then I played 2 copies of Dynamiscus. This is a really decent card. Just going first or even going second after you like push through your opponent's board. It's really good against Sprite. It's really good against Tier, and most importantly, it's a Mystic Mine Out that the deck can play. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. And then for the extra deck, I played 2 Kikalas. This is the card which gets you started. Has 3 effects, all of which are insane. So 1 Kaleido Heart. This helps you play around Super Poly because it can't be used as fusion material. Also plays around Nibiru, and it's just a very solid removal card. Then I played 2 Stapelia. I decided to play 2 instead of 1 because if you play against Sprite, you actually, when interrupting them, you actually try to loop these because it's very good against Sprite. I actually didn't play against Sprite during the tournament, so I didn't really need the second one. Yeah, since I played 5 mirror matches, this card wasn't summoned that often, but I think it's still a good idea to play second just for the Sprite, a second Stapelia just for the Sprite matchup. And then for the other fusions, I played 1 Mud Dragon and 1 Garuda. They're both super poly targets, and this could help you make rank 4s, and this can just be like free link material when you summon them off of tiers. And for the Xyz monsters, I played 1 Redoer. Most people have actually cut this, but I found that this helps you like play around a lot of hand traps. Like, it helps you push through a lot of hand traps after you get interrupted, and it also helps you play around Nibiru, which more people are playing now. And it could also just like apply a lot of pressure on your opponent just by this card returning on the end phase, and you can just use it to make a Zeus on the following turn. And then 1 Abyss Dweller. Yeah, very necessary card for the mirror match. Then I played Bahamut Toad. This just helps you put up a negate to play around cards like Evenly Matched, or it's just and it's overall just like a very solid interruption. You can just make this to summon Toad and link it away for Elf, because it just becomes a free link material after you have summoned the Toad. And then I played 1 Zeus because we played 4 other Xyz monsters. And then for the links, I played 1 Sprite Elf, 1 Dark Charmer, and 1 Goddess. The Goddess is necessary because this deck just struggles with outing tower monsters. Dark is just like a very nice utility card against both Sprite and the mirror match. And Elf is probably like my most summon link monster because it just revives Merly to trigger it on the opponent's turn, which is just a very strong interaction. And yeah, I played 1 token for when I get Nibiru'd. So that's it for the extra deck. And for the side deck, played 3 Winter Cherries. This card was good whenever I drew it because I played against 5 mirror matches. When you cherries the Kikalis in the mirror match, even if they're playing like a heavy combo build, they can't successfully build enough advantage, and it usually just like stops them in their tracks. And even if you get Dwellered, this always gives you a chance if you take away their Kikalis, because they just don't really have like the necessary cards to push, or they won't ever have the necessary cards to push against you. So yeah, this card was a very good addition to the side deck. And then I played 3 Gamma and 1 Driver. Not too much that I need to explain here. This is just like a very good going second card against a lot of combo decks, or just like anything that activates a monster effect, it's good against. And then I played 3 Cosmic and 1 Reboot. This helps you beat Mystic Mine, and it actually helped me against a Math Mech opponent because it helped me out Rivalry once. So it's just a very good utility card that you could put it against matchups that aren't Tier Sprite. And then I played 2 Unending Nightmare because this deck struggles against Floodgate decks like Runic, so I really wanted a card like Unending Nightmare. I didn't play against any, but I would still play these in the side deck just in case I do play against those decks. And for the last cards, I played 1 Meta Noise and 1 Crime. So most people don't actually play these, but the Crime is very good because it gives you a chance to beat Winter Cherries if you get hit by it, because its Grave Effect lets you put back a banished tier monster to your hand. So you can get to the point where you can send this off of Kaleido Heart by popping it with your field spell, and you can put back one of your banished Kikalis into the extra deck, and then you can just play the game from there. And the Meta Noise is probably the best card to search against Sprite, because you could just book a Moon during level 2 and then send a tier to make Stapelia, and that would deal with the extender that they have. So usually this card alone just beats that deck. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. As for shoutouts, I'd like to shout out my teammates Clement and Gabe for helping me playtest, and I'd like to shout out Clement for forcing me to play cherries the night before the event. Those were definitely pretty good, and I wouldn't have played them if it weren't for him. And I'd also like to shout out Andrew, who's behind the camera. And I'd also like to thank my friend Sice for allowing me to be on his channel. Thank you.